after the cockroaches, we are going on to the frogs.
Okay,
Right?
ma'am.
Now frogs, a tad bit better. The respiratory system are a little better off than the cockroach, though they are also respiring through the skin, right? And the kind of respiration that the frogs does is known as cutaneous respiration, right? What is the meaning of cutaneous? Cutaneous means, in science, cutaneous means skin. So respiration through skin is known as cutaneous respiration. Okay. So frogs, they very smartly respire through the skin, though they have mouth, they have the capacity for buccal respiration as well, right? So they also have lungs. They also are capable of doing pulmonary respiration, right? But during hibernation in winter, the moist skin helps in respiration. The baby frogs or tadpoles respire through gills like fishes. So you must have seen there are three kinds of respiration happening in frogs. Frogs, I'm sure all of you know frogs are amphibians, right? They are
Ma'am,
amphibians. Yes.
ma'am, in the tadpole stage, they have gills, but when they grow up, the gills disappear. Then how do still the frogs live in water?
Anna, you were asking how the gills disappear, right? Hello.
Ma'am, I was asking that after the gills disappear, how do the frogs still be in water? They can be in water for at least 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, they can be in water for even longer, because they are kind of amphibians, right?
So
So
they absorb the oxygen.
yeah, they have a proper, they have lungs, they have a proper, I would not say proper, but they have a little bit structured respiratory system, right? You will see, even if the frog is in water, the mouth is above. For example, if they're sitting on a rock or they're sitting on a leaf, their mouth is above the water. So, they will keep on respiring through their lungs, just like human beings do. Because
Okay,
by
ma'am,
then,
but don't they also breathe through the skin?
They breathe through the skin, but they also have, that's what I'm saying, they have three kinds of respiration. They have cutaneous respiration, that is through skin. They have pulmonary respiration, that is they have lungs. And they also have to breathe through their gills like fishes do.
Ma'am, mouth buccal respiration.
Yes, that is breathing and all. Buccal respiration, as in kind of inhaling it through their nose. They have a mouth cavity, buccal cavity, just like human beings have. So frogs have the most interesting kind of respiration, if I may say. Is that clear? Okay. So going to fishes. Fishes breathe through gills which are present on the lateral side of head. I'm sure, all of you must have seen, if this is a fish, right? If this is a fish, we normally draw something like this here. So what is
Yes,
this?
ma'am, the
One on
scale.
this, yeah, one on this side and the other on that side. So if you have ever lifted this up, this is kind of a big scale, a big covering kind of a thing. So if you
Like a flap.
like a flap, correct, a little semi-solid hard flap. So if you have ever lifted that, you will see, there are these multiple, structures like this. Multiple, the similar thing that you have in an AC. If you have opened an AC and if you have stood in front of an AC while servicing, you will see multiple, horizontal
Ma'am, I saw
structures.
the AC inside.
Yeah, so it's something like that, which are a little hairy. There are multiple structures which are a little hairy, right? Why hairy? To filter, and to not to take in just the same thing, same way why we have hair inside our nostrils, so that the impurities, the dirt doesn't enter inside our nose. So our nasal hair filters the air that we inhale. Similarly, the gills, they filter the air, and then they take in the oxygen. Correct? So both the side the gills are present, on the left side as well as on the right side. People who have fish also must have seen, when you go to the market, what do the fishermen do? They lift the flap. They lift the flap and they show whether the gills are red or black. If the gills are red, that means a fish is fresh. It's just been fished and it's just out of water. If the gills are black, that means, it has been fished long time back, maybe a few days back, and the gills are, the body is totally devoid of oxygen and it is like flaccid, and it is not a fresh fish.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can I ask a doubt?
Yeah, please do.
Ma'am, but it's not of the topic we are doing.
Okay. If I'm ready with the answer, I'll tell you, or else definitely next class. Tell me.
You just now said that we have hair in our nostrils. So like when somebody is having cancer and are on chemotherapy, do the hair in our nostril also disappear?
Yes, it does. All
So
the
then,
hair from the entire body disappears.
that's what I was asking the question, ma'am. But
That's the reason why they are, anyways their immunity is low, and that is how many germs enter their body. They don't have eyebrows, they don't have eyelashes, so dirt enters their eyes. They don't have nostrils, so nasal, as in they don't have nasal hair. So lot
that's
of
why
dirty hair goes in.
many of them like they die because not only because of cancer but also because of like many germs enter their body.
Yes, the associated infections that happen because a lot of germs enters the body, and the immunity, as in the soldiers of the body, they become very weak during that time. Right? Immunity level really falls down. That's the
Ma'am,
reason why. Yes.
is nasal hair and cilia the same?
No. Cilia is present in microorganisms, especially organisms which are there in water, and that helps in their movement, in their locomotion. With the help of cilia, flagella, they kind of swim from one place to other. Just cilia is something like this. For example, if this is a unicellular organism, one hair-like structure like this is called the cilia. It will move it left side, right side. It will steer away like a fish, and then the cilia will move from here to here. That's the cilia. So
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
yeah, and there's something called a flagella. If you see certain protozoas, there will be multiple hair-like structures. These are also, microscopic organisms. You can't see it with your naked eye. So this
Yes, ma'am.
protozoa, they will have a lot of hair-like structures here. They use it for movement from one place to other. With the help of this, they swim. Just like the way fishes use their fins, cilia and flagellas are used for movement. This is cilia. Okay. Nostril hairs are used. These are kind of soldiers of our body. Eyebrows. Why do we have eyebrows and eyelashes? Not only for decoration or for beauty purpose, but they are basically, when we sweat, just imagine if we didn't have eyebrows or eyelashes. All the sweat that would have come from our forehead would have entered our eyes. All that salty, sweat. Eyelashes, what do they do when we go out? There's a lot of dust and dirt, which gets stuck in our eyelashes and doesn't enter into our eyes. So every organ that we have in our body has some of the other purpose, not only for beauty. Okay, so we are done with fishes. Now they come to caterpillar. Now what happens with caterpillars? We all know caterpillars are the young ones of the insects, so they also breathe through spiracles. So just keep one thing in mind. Most of the insects will have spiracles, like cockroach, spider, caterpillar, they would have spiracles.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
are butterflies coming under insects?
Yes, butterflies come under insects. Okay. Now coming to birds. Birds are a little more, the respiratory system with birds are a little more organized. Because see, most of the time they are flying. They need a lot of energy. You will not see a fat bird. You will always see birds are always they have to expend so much of energy. They're never fat or obese like a few animals, right? Because they have to fly, and flying takes in a lot of energy, consumes a lot of energy, right? So they need a lot of oxygen as well. So they need to have a sturdy respiratory system. As compared to other animals, they need to have a sturdy, for example, when you swim, you can understand now, you get tired when you swim, when you run, you get tired very soon. Why? Because you pant for breath. Why? Because you consume a lot of oxygen when you're running, swimming, doing any kind of physical exercise that requires a lot of oxygen. So one needs to have a strong lungs, right? Similarly, birds have a little better respiratory system. As I said, they require a lot of energy for flying. The lungs, just like human beings, the lungs contract like a balloon, contract and, deflate and inflate. It's not like that, but they don't expand and contract, but they have large air sacs in the lungs which make the birds light. Just imagine, birds have to fly. If they were even a little more heavy, they wouldn't have been able to fly. For example, peacocks, peahens, they're very heavy birds. Peacocks, peahens are very heavy birds. They have so much of plumage, they have so much of feather here, there, so much they have. Ostriches, emu, you must have heard and seen about emu. These are such heavy birds, they cannot fly. So birds have to keep themselves very light. Even the bones, especially the flying birds, most of them, 99% of the birds, they have very light bones. And to make themselves further light, they have feathers, right? And added to that, they don't have lungs. They have lungs, but what they have is that, they have air sacs. They have tiny little air sacs, right? Which makes the bird very light. Because if they had a proper, structurized lungs, just like the way human beings have, it would have made it a little more heavier. The birds would have become a little more heavier. The breathing
Ma'am?
structure, yeah.
So they just directly have alveoli?
They are known as air sacs, right? They are known as air sacs. Yes. If you have to compare it with human beings, that would be alveoli. If you have to compare it with the
Okay, ma'am.
respiratory system of human beings.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
so do they have a diaphragm?
They don't have a diaphragm. That's what they said. They have a rib cage kind of a thing, right? But
Yes,
they do
ma'am.
not have, yeah, they do not have a diaphragm. That's what I'm saying. They have a very fixed respiratory system, just like the way we breathe in, breathe out, contract, relax, our diaphragm goes up, comes down. It's nothing like that. It's known as static. They have a static respiratory system. When oxygen goes in, the air sacs fill up with air. When the oxygen goes out of the body, the air sacs deflate. The air sacs deflate. That's it. Everything boils down to these air sacs. It's known as they have static lungs. They have static lungs. Their lungs do not expand, deflate, diaphragm going up, coming down. They don't have that much of a structured respiratory system like human beings. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
ma'am.